Hello guys, how are you all? I hope that everybody is safe. Today we are going to discuss a poem uh, written by Robert Frost. This poem is about the life choices which we are going to make. Um, Before we start the poem, I would like you to imagine of standing at a point in life where you are given two choices. Both carry equal importance. Both may give you the same or similar results. One is giving you a positive one in some aspects, and the other, the second one, may be giving you some benefits in some other fields. So, which one of the two paths you will choose? Which one of the two choices you will make? And think what will happen if the choice which you made does not come up to the same expectations that you were thinking when you were choosing that path or making that choice. I would like you to pause the video and then think about it for a minute or two. If you want, you may write it to have a better clarity of thought. This poem about Robert Frost. This poem is written by Robert Frost. The name of the poem is The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken. There are two paths before the poet, and he makes a judgmental comparison between the two paths, chooses one, and then experiences doubts, experiences the difficulties or the rewards of choosing that path. He may also have regrets of not choosing the other path. So, this poem is all about making choices in your life. I hope that you have paused the video and given the topic or the question a thought, right? We will move on with the poem so that we do not make the video a longer one because it will take time to upload, and I want this video to be uploaded fast so that it reaches you guys. Okay, i would like to I would like you to download the poem first. The link is given in the description. Read it first and then we will move on with the discussion. I'll read on the poem to you. Two roads diverged into a yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. There were to where it went into the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how ways leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged into a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This poem, I believe, is not about simple two roads, it is about making life's choices. The poet gives a clear thought, a fair comparative thought to both the roads, and he chooses a path, a choice less taken, a path less traveled. It was not like one person did not take the path or did not make such a choice before, but it was less traveled. The choice was made by a fewer people, not by the common, but some special. And he tells, the poet says, he claims that I made that choice, and by making that choice, I am making the difference. Okay, this is the gist of the poem. Let's move on to the stanza wise explanation of this poem. Okay, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. The first stanza reads out: two roads diverged into a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. The poet stands on a path from where the path diverges, is it bifurcates into two paths. And sorry, I could not travel both. It is an easy thing to understand that if two choices are given to you, you will take only one. Only one option will be the correct one, or only one option will be available to you. And be one traveler, long I stood. He made a choice. He gave a clear thought, a long consideration to one of the choices. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could. He contemplated. See, I'll tell you the spelling of contemplated. He contemplated. CONTEMPLATED. Contemplating means giving a long, considerably good thought. He contemplated in his mind all the results, all the consequences he would have to face if he made that choice, if he traveled that choice as far as I could. As far as I could means as far as the poet could think. He gave it a thought, he gave the path a thought, to where it bent into the undergrowth. The last line of the stanza says, to where it bent in the undergrowth. This line means that till he could not think anymore about that choice, he gave it a clear thought and clear contemplation till the point he could not think anymore. Okay, this was the explanation of the first stanza. If you want, you can go back, pause the video, repeat it to get a clearer concept of the stanza. I will move on to the second stanza now. Then took the other as fair and just as fair. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. See, this, the second stanza states that he gave an equally deep contemplation, equally deep thought to the other choice. He compared the two fairly. He made a fair comparison between the two paths. Because it was grassy and wanted wear, it was a it was a path, it was a choice taken by lesser number of people, fewer number of people. Though as for that passing there had warned them really about the same. See, when you walk on a path, when several people walk on the same path, that path is devoid of grass. There is no grass growing there. This is a common phenomenon. But it is not made by one person. Several persons walk from that path, that makes the path grassless. The poet says, whoever chose that path before, that rarely traveled path before, had made the same wear and tear on that path, had experienced the same consequences or made the same effects on the other path. But since that road was traveled by lesser number of people, it was less grassless. There was more grass, the path was more untraveled. That is the gist of the second stanza. If you want, you can pause the video, move back, repeat the video so that you get a clear understanding. Make a note. I would like you to make a note at each and every point. I'll move on with the third stanza. And both that morning equally lay. He is remembering, he is telling us a story. The poet is telling us a story about a morning when he was traveling, and during the travel he came across these two paths. He says, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. And both that morning equally lay. He says that the two paths appeared the same. Both that morning equally lay. The two paths appeared the same. The two choices which were put in front of the poet were equally attractive or equally weighing. In leaves, no step had trodden black. Both the paths, the second line of the stanza says, in leaves, no step had trodden black. There was no negativity shown by the two choices made. It was not that one choice was clearly bad enough that not to be taken, the other was clearly good enough that it was taken. In leaves, no step had trodden black. Both choices were equally rewarding, both choices were equally attractive. Oh, I kept the first for another day. He chose one path, he chose the first road, he made the first choice and kept on it. He held on to that choice, he kept the first for another day. He held on to that choice, he did not change his mind, he was not fickle-minded. He was not fickle-minded. Fickle-minded person is a person who makes a choice, then changes his decision, experiences that, and then switches back to the first. His mind is not stable. So the poet says that he was not fickle-minded. He made a choice, he chose the first road, and then he held on to that choice. He kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way. Generally what happens when you take a path, when you take a road, the road will bifurcate, and at the end of that road which you take, there will be more paths, right? There will be more paths coming into your way. He says that yet knowing how way leads on to way. Here the poet is very optimistic. He says that I will keep on walking, I will hold on to my choice, and one day I will find a solution. Whatever problem comes in my way, I will find a solution. I had found a solution. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Okay, here there is a clear confession made by the poet. I doubted I should ever come back. He says that he had doubts in his mind of choosing that first road, of making that first choice. There were difficulties, there were adversities faced by the poet on choosing the first choice, on choosing the first road. But he held on. He had doubts, but he held on. He was not fickle-minded. His mind he was not weak. He held on to his decision. He was strong enough to stand by his decision and was ready to face the consequences. Okay. Now the last stanza tells you about people who make all the difference. Of great people. It is given, it is a well-known fact that every person, more or less, is given the same opportunities by God. Every person has got the same mind, the same two eyes, one nose, one mouth, two hands, two legs, same heart, same blood. But it is their willpower, their decisions that make all the difference. Maybe in their own life, maybe in the life of others, maybe the whole humanity. The last stanza I like the most. I'll read that to you again. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged into a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The poet here is quite boastful about his decisions. I shall be telling this with a sigh. What is the meaning of sigh? S-I-G-H, sigh. If you do not know, pause the video, find it in the dictionary. Okay. Sigh means to make a exhaling breath to express relief, anger, disgust. So here, or relaxation. So here the poet is relaxed. He is in a contemplating mood. He is in a nostalgic mood. He says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. To whom? To everybody. He will be claiming somewhere ages and ages hence. Ages and ages hence means centuries after. That time the poet will not be living. The people will tell somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged into a wood and I took the one less traveled by. I took the one less traveled by. I made the difficult choice, and that has made all the difference. The difficult choices which you make will make you unique, make you stand out in the crowd. Otherwise, everybody chooses one path. Almost everybody chooses one path. And whoever takes a, takes another path, makes another choice, that is not stupid, but it is intelligently, it is deeply thought enough, then only they will be successful, then only people will remember them, they will make history. Okay. So very good poem. I hope you like the video. I would repeat, the description of this poem contains the link to this poem, and I hope you make a list of the difficult words in the poem. And till then, goodbye, keep studying, be safe, bye bye.